Oh God, what is that smell? I feel like there's some sort of analogy or metaphor that I don't understand yet. Look, I love all things Mario. I mean, I grew up with it, and it has some of my favorite games of all time. And I even defended some of the controversial things Nintendo did with the series. But a whole movie dedicated to this short Italian plumber? Sure, it sounds good on paper, but once you really look at it, this movie is most likely gonna be a disaster. Trust me, I can already hear you in the comments saying, the trailer's not even out yet, how can you say that? And well, in my opinion, which is always correct, everything we've seen so far could lead to a disaster. So this is the glass half full, and this is why the Mario movie will probably suck. Alright, let's get this out of the way. Video game movies will always suck. Video games as a form of entertainment mostly derives from the gameplay. I've talked about this pretty recently, so I won't go super in depth here. But a game doesn't need a super involved plot or three-dimensional characters to be good. Sure, it can be great icing on the cake, and games of these kind have succeeded in the past, but most of the time people buy a game for the game play. Because all that deep story and character kind of thing are reserved for movies and TV shows. So when these games with not that good of stories are put into a movie setting where they have to, be a good story and not just rely on something else, it'll quickly be discovered that most of these don't work as a movie and will change so much drastically that in the end, it looks like a shell of its game counterpart. Okay, to give credit where credit is due, we did have two not bad video game movies in the past few years, being Detective Pikachu and the Sonic movie, and one of them I have yet to watch, and you can probably guess which one that is. Yeah, sorry Pokemon, I really don't have an excuse. It's on my to-do list, don't worry. So I can't really comment on the Pokemon movie, but for the Sonic movie, I struggle to call that movie good and not passable or okay. Honestly though, it's quite surprising how badly all these other movies tend to be received. After doing some extensive research, out of these adaptations, 4 movies have a Metacritic of 50 of 100 or higher, and 6 movies have a Rotten Tomatoes of 50% or higher. And that's it. 6 movies out of 42! That means literally every other movie doesn't even have an average score. No, these movies are literal dog shit. Okay, sure, these are live-action movies, and thankfully the Mario movie isn't going to be live-action. Imagine they would do that, though. That'd be pretty bad. Okay, anyway, let's talk about animated video game movies then. These movies can look a lot more like their source material, and not like a cheap knockoff. Well, for starters, there's only 4 of them, which is not a lot of data to give us any concrete proof that these animated movies are better. And even then, all but 1 has a rating over 50. Our Lord and Savior, Angry Birds fucking 2. Yes, a mobile game adaptation is the most positively received movie. Dude, I can be watching this non-existent paint dry for an hour and still have more fun than watching any of these movies. See, just look how much fun I'm having here. And so with the disaster of live-action movies and the pretty scarce amount of animated ones, it makes me wonder, if Hollywood can never get any of these other series to work in a big picture, how the actual fuck is Mario gonna work? You'd find it kind of surprising how everything that revolves around Mario is everything you don't want in a movie. Let's talk about Mario himself and how he compares to other mascots who got their own movies centered around them. Sonic has always had an easygoing and quick-witted attitude and is kind of a dick sometimes, honestly. And as for Pikachu, in most games he's represented in, he just beats up others of his own kind while screaming his name over and over, but in Detective Pikachu, he's shown to... Wow, I really should have watched this movie. Give me a second. He is easily infatuated with human woman, which I find pretty relatable, I guess. And then there's Mario, and what is his personality like? I genuinely got no fucking clue. When has Mario ever did anything other than save Peach and jump really high? I even went to Google and all I got was, wait, Mario could do that? Oh yeah, and there's this other very tiny thing that these characters have that Mario doesn't. They're capable of talking! We've seen these guys communicate with people and their own kind of like, while Mario barely talks to his own brother. And now you're telling me we have this character that has never had a fucking dialogue box is going to be talking for over an hour. Not to mention the other glaring issue of making a story for this movie. Mainline Mario games have little to no story other than Peach gone. Go. Honestly, I've never realized till now how devoid of a story or character the Mario franchise has. And it's mostly because of this guy. For example, you know how Mario Galaxy had Rosalina's backstory told through the storybooks? It's one of the driving factors for why she's so beloved till this day, and why she's still in spin-offs and even playable despite Mario Galaxy not being relevant in like 10 or so years. And the other factor is because she's hot. Well, apparently that wasn't supposed to be in the game because Miyamoto just despises children's stories for some reason, but Koizumi snuck it in anyways. And now the children's story despiser Miyamoto is co-producing this movie. Quick question, how does my disappointed face look? Sorry, I haven't had to use it since the Wii U came out. And I don't think this is a bad thing. I mean, Nintendo for the longest time has only seen Mario as a vessel to move around these games in, and never thought about giving any big personality traits. Except for being Italian, I guess. And I think it's going to be kind of strange to see Mario, a character we've known for so long, get a personality in the English language to his character in order for this movie to work. But on the other hand, this could be kind of cool, I guess. They could flesh him out, give him some flaws, some struggles that can make us relate to Mario a little bit, and show us that this could only be done in a movie environment. Who am I fucking kidding? This movie's made by Illumination. Look, if you enjoy Illumination movies, good on you. But personally, I wouldn't say that they're the worst animation studio, but they're by far the most boring. Basically, they just never take any risks or chances with their movies. Like Sony Pictures, for example, they're a lot more sporadic? Like, most of the time, they create some of the most horrendous animated movies put to theaters that turn everyone against them. But then sometimes they say, guys, I know we really like making dog shit movies, but hear me out. What if we made one of the greatest animated movies of all time? Sure, they are very hit or miss, but it makes it kind of fun to predict which movies deserve an Oscar and which belong in purgatory. But Illumination, though? Everything is the same mediocre bullshit. Okay, there's like one, maybe two good ones, but the Lorax is a retelling, and the other movie, which is considered to be their breakout hit, and while they're alive today, was done better by DreamWorks a couple months later. Every movie of theirs shares so many similarities. The celebrity cast, the same animation style, and the reoccurring talking animals, or whatever these are, to appeal to kids. And every single time, they break box office records, so it's not like they're gonna stop anytime soon. And you're telling me that these guys are bringing the biggest video game icon, wait, no, one of the biggest media icons to theaters? Oh, maybe they know this and they're gonna make this movie unlike anything that came before it. Yeah, that's what I said as well, until they started to follow the Illumination movie checklist. And number one, oh look at that, a celebrity cast. And what does the Mario movie have? Oh, a celebrity cast! Okay, sure, every animated movie has a celebrity cast these days. But you can't even cast Charles Martinet as Mario, like, come on. Okay, but at the very least, this movie can't and will not have any minions. Now that would be awful. Wait a minute. Screaming loud voice, infinite population, every single one of them having the exact same design. No, don't fucking tell me. No! Now this brings up multiple questions. Do I think Nintendo should have gone to another studio? And an even bigger one, should Nintendo even make a Mario movie in the first place? After making this horrible realization, I did what every other Nintendo fan does and go on Twitter and complain. 4 hours. And after finding out that no one cares, I sat back and pondered. Why? Why is this happening? Why does no one care? Am I the only true Nintendo fan that is scared for Mario's future? It was some truly dark times, and no one could save me from this deep, dark hole of sadness. What are you doing here? I'm wallowing in my self-pity. What do you want? Dude, it's a kid's movie. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, but... Holy shit, you're right. Yes, I made an entire section bashing Illumination, but if we are getting the usual Mario story we always get, Illumination is probably the studio that can recreate the story one for one the best, because they're so used to making average stories, and every Mario game has a, well, average story. And yeah, I was a bit cold to Miyamoto earlier, but there is no better man to help make this movie. I mean, Mario is his fucking child, and there's no way he'd want him to be badly represented in this movie. Even if the guy who's voiced him for the past 20 years isn't playing him in his most important role yet. Which brings us to the celebrity cast, which I gotta be honest, I have no problem with whatsoever. And I'm actually kind of excited to see how they play these characters. I'm not saying the casting is great. Okay, sure, Seth Rogen and Jack Black being Bowser and Donkey Kong is pretty amazing. But it's the fact that Mario and Star-Lord have the same exact voice. God, just the sheer idea of it gets me so excited. Just hear me out. Either it's somehow great and we get a good performance, but you think about how Chris Pratt actually put effort into playing fucking Mario, or he does a horrible job and it's still funny because, again, it's Chris Pratt playing fucking Mario. It's a win-win situation no matter how you see it. Look, no matter how this turns out, I feel like I'm gonna like this movie no matter what. Like, come on, it's Mario, and I'm biased. They could put a scene of Toad dancing for 2 hours, and I would say, yeah, that wasn't a waste of my time. And at the very least, I know me, as a kid, you know, the intended audience for this movie, would fucking love it, and not care at all that Mario doesn't work in a movie environment, or, oh, Illumination's a bad company. No, he would just go in the movie, turn his brain off, and love some Chris Pratt as Mario. And I'm trying to go into that same mentality of this movie here as an emotionally unstable adult. So the moral of the story is no matter how something bad turns out to be, nostalgia will forever be a bitch.